I've been taking clients from their permanent hair colour to their natural grey for over 30 years, but who knew that it would become a thing? What are the options and what are the processes? Well, keep on watching for everything grey transitioning. Hello and welcome to the world of Craig. Yes, that's me, I'm Craig, and this is my channel where we get into all things hair and sometimes a little bit of beauty. I'm giggling to myself because of the splashy intro that I just filmed and the fact that I have managed to dig out a grey jumper that I didn't even know that I had. That's terrible. Because obviously this is about grey transitioning. Yes, something that I've done an awfully long time, but something that social media has blown up. So in this video, we're going to look at, now I've got the giggles, we're going to look at what the different options are to go from permanent colour or maybe built up demi-permanent colour to actually have naturally grey hair. And we'll be going through the processes and the options whether you're a hair professional like me of 37 years experience, nearly 38, or a consumer at home. So let's get on with it. Grey transitioning. Housekeeping. Yes, before we get into a packed video full of knowledge and information, just to mention, if you enjoy this video and find it helpful, or any of the 600 bits of content here on my channel, you know exactly what to do. You liking this, sharing it with a friend, really helps to get my content out there. And this is all about free education so that everyone can have the best hair they can, or if you're a hair professional like me, so you can learn all the knowledge to give all of your clients the best hair that they can possibly have. Of course, if you want to see everything that's coming here on my channel, make sure you're subscribed and that you hit the bell to turn on your notifications. Okay, let's start off at the beginning with the big daddy of all, and that is removing all of the colour to give you that gorgeous, glorious grey. Let's be real, it's a big process. You see it all over social media. I've got a video here on my channel that is all about removing permanent hair colour. It's a big process. It can be done. I think that some of the results that you see here on social media platforms have been tweaked slightly in post-production, but that's just me being slightly controversial yet bold. But it can be done. It's a really big process. It can compromise the condition of the hair. Yes, I do it. You don't think you've seen it anywhere on my social media, but I do it. I don't do it very often. It's something I would probably advise against. It's quite hard to create a natural looking grey from removing all the permanent hair colour, because then you have to tone it and you have to lift it very, very, very light, as you will know from all the toning videos that are all in a playlist here on my channel that you can go and watch after this. You have to lift it very, very light to get a pure translucent grey and then tone it back down. Then you have to add dimension with different low lights, maybe even some highlights once you've removed all the colour. So I just wanted to start off with that because in my opinion, it's very doable, it's possible, but it's a very big process. And for something like that, it'd probably be a full day. So you'd be talking in excess of over £1,000 for me personally, because I charge for my services per hour. So yeah, it's a big job, but it can be done, and it needs a lot of thought, and it definitely needs somebody that knows what they are doing. And I really wouldn't suggest that you would tackle that at home yourself. Coming in at number 2, it would be a mixture of highlighting and then demi-permanent colour. And in my opinion, this is something that is again best left to the professional, because it's very tricky to highlight your own hair in a way that would help the grey to blend. What do I mean? Well, a demi-permanent colour is a colour with less energy than a permanent colour, so it can help to blend greys. They're normally mixed with a specific developer that comes with the product or that is made for that particular demi-permanent colour. There's videos that explain exactly what they are here on my channel. Otherwise this video will be 45 minutes long and no one will want that. And then I would combine that with some highlights, and the highlights would be very fine in order to blend the root that was coming through, and then obviously you would use the demi-permanent colour. Generally, I would apply the demi-permanent colour first at the regrowth, let that process, rinse that off, and I would use a product like Colour Touch for that with a gentle developer. If you're a hair professional, you'll know what I mean. And then, or maybe if you're a consumer at home, you might know what I mean. And if you are a consumer at home, the comparison to Colour Touch would be a product called Natural Instincts by Clairol. very similar video about that here on my channel. And then I would rinse that off once that had processed, whatever the shade was, the correct shade. And then I would highlight very finely in order to start blending the grey. And that's a combo that I use a lot. I do that a lot in salon. Or if a client wants to transition from a darker permanent colour to a lighter permanent colour, I would introduce lights around the face and through the top of the head. Now, some people would suggest putting in low lights into that regrowth, that grey regrowth, in order to start blending. But I personally wouldn't recommend that. Why would you add depth into the regrowth when ultimately you want to grow out the permanent colour? Lots of hand movements. For me, it can start to look quite patchy, quite blotchy, quite stripy. So, and again, you're not really aiding the grow out, because then you're going to have the problem of the dark low light, the permanent low light, next to the grey hair, and then the regrowth from the permanent colour. So, in my opinion, one of the best options is to go in with the demi-permanent colour first, blend those greys, whether that is something like Colour Touch or Natural Instincts, or something like Shades EQ Gloss, of which there is a video. I know I keep directing you to content, but this is an educational channel and there is so much out there, and I can't go over everything in every video because I'll get accused of rambling. I mean, I don't do that, but some people think that I do. I'm an educator at the end of the day. And then once you've processed that, putting in some highlights, even if it's just a face frame, just to start breaking everything up to make the grow out easier. It's just struck me that I don't think I have a specific grey hair playlist here on my channel. So I will make that, and all of those other videos that I've mentioned, I will put into that playlist, so you can go and check that out after this video. It will be there, yes, here on my channel. Then we have demi-permanent hair colour alone, which there is a video here on my channel about. If you use something like Shades EQ Gloss, that's very translucent. That's something I do a lot of. My grey hair, I'm about 30% grey, is blended using Shades EQ Gloss. There is very specific ways to do that and specific formulas. Again, they're all here on my channel, including my own formula, but that will give you a very translucent, see-through, glossy result. It won't give you opaque coverage. It's about blending. The same with something like Natural Instincts or Colour Touch. They will blend to a certain degree. On some people's hair, they will give you more opaque coverage. Some people's hair, they won't. Everyone's hair is different. But what you need to think about if you are going to start transitioning either your clients or yourself to having a demi-permanent colour, which is a product with less energy, so it goes less into the hair and it covers less, yes, then you need to think about this. If you already have permanent colour or something that is very opaque and it's growing out, the result from that demi-permanent colour alone will be less opaque. So you will have what you freshly coloured with the demi, then you will have the permanent colour on the mids and ends. And for some people, I know from years and years and years of experience, don't like that contrast. Because often demi-permanent colours need to have some warmth in the shade selection in order to blend the grey hair, and their permanent colour perhaps doesn't have any warmth, so you are going to get a contrast. It's a brilliant way to transition. For example, I don't want to permanently colour my hair, so for me, a demi-permanent colour is a really low maintenance option that I can do, and it won't build up if it's done correctly and you follow the instructions, and you get a really good blending result. But it's not for everyone, but it is a really great way to go if you want to grow out your permanent colour. And finally, of course, the one I haven't mentioned, you could just let it all grow out. I have got clients that have done that in the past. I am, at the end of the day, a hairstylist and a colourist. So I will always go through options with clients, and there is always, it's worth mentioning, there is always an option. I've got some clients that have grown out their permanent colour just from using very pigmented coloured conditioners that have taken the edge off, and they don't mind the contrast, and they just let it grow out over time, use their colour conditioners. I love the Colour Fresh, the Weller Colour Fresh masks. They're really, really good. Again, they will take differently on everyone's hair. I can't give you a one size fits all. You would have to test it out for yourself. But also colour conditioners can stain grey hair. So I have some clients that have just gone, would they say raw dogged it? would they? And just grown out their permanent colour and then ended up with their grey hair. So, you know, and at the end of the day, grey hair, and whether you choose to be grey naturally or whether you choose to colour it, is a very personal thing. All of the options are valid, but always remember that there is always a way to grow out that colour and transition to grey if you want to. We've got to the end of the video. If you're still here, thank you very much for watching. Do you have specific questions about grey blending? Remembering, I can't give you specific individual formulas because I can't see you. And what you think is one shade of colour, I might not think, and so much gets lost in messages and comments. But a huge thank you for watching this. As I've already said, you all take lots of care, and I'll see you all in the next one.